Welcome to the 2020 Questing Beast Awards, aka the Questies. A Questing Beast Award show is something that I've wanted to do for quite a long time now, but I never got around to it, mostly because I'm lazy and I kept forgetting about it. But this year I did not, and I will be talking about my favorite products that I reviewed over the whole year of 2020. Note that I'm not going to be restricting these awards to things that were published in 2020, just things that I reviewed during that year. This is because I don't necessarily review things in chronological order, and I'm sure that this year I will review some great books that were published in 2020 that I didn't get around to. Also, I do not have set categories that I will be keeping from year to year. Basically, I'll just have a roundup of my favorite books, and then I'll just assign them awards based on the things that I think they did best. Before we start though, a big shout out to Into the AM for sponsoring this video. Into the AM makes lots of apparel with original artwork that I think really captures the OSR retro fantasy aesthetic without having to slap a big D&D logo on your chest. This t-shirt design of theirs is actually one of my favorites. I think it captures the kind of never-ending story vibe with the twin guardians and the portal to another dimension. I'm actually wearing that one right now. The shirts are very comfortable and very reasonably priced. There's also a lot of variety and designs to choose from. If these look cool to you, head down to the description below where there is a link that gives you 10% off to their entire web store. Thanks again to Into the AM for sponsoring this video. I absolutely love the shirts that they've sent me, and I think you will too. All right, back to the awards. Our very first award is for Best GM Advice, and that award goes to Electric Bastionland by Chris McDowell. Electric Bastionland is an amazing book. It has some fantastic character classes, a fantastic setting, but what really stood out to me the most is the quality of the GM advice. Chris is really a master at this. His blog posts were hugely influential on me in understanding what I wanted out of a role-playing game. They helped me when I was developing Maze Rats and Knave in terms of clarifying my thinking and distilling down these principles of what makes a fun adventure and how a GM facilitates that into short, koan-like sentences that distill everything down and anchor it in your mind and are actually actionable in a way that a lot of GM advice often isn't because it's very vague and non-specific. Whether you're running Electric Bastionland or some other OSR system or even D&D 5e, as a DM, you are going to be getting value out of Chris McDowell's Electric Bastionland. Highly recommended. Our second award is for Best Cartography, and that award goes to Trilemma Adventures by Michael Prescott. At the last Ennie Awards, Trilemma Adventures was up against my own book, The Labyrinth Adventure Game, in the category of cartography. Michael beat me out there, and it was well deserved. Michael's cartography is immaculate, it is precise, it gives a wonderful 3D representation of the environment so that it's very easy to parse what's going on and how things are related to one another. Besides that, the book is packed with lots of really high quality one-page dungeons that you can drag and drop anywhere into your campaign setting. An incredibly high quality book all the way around. If you want to pick up a copy for yourself or any of the other books that are receiving awards today, head down to the description where I will make sure to put links. Our third award is for Most Useful Product of the Year, which I think is a category that more RPG awards shows should have. And that award goes out to Magical Industrial Revolution by Skirples. Magical Industrial Revolution gives you a magical city setting to explore, but unlike a lot of official city settings that you might find in other product lines, this is relentlessly focused on giving you gameable material that you can put into your games that will actually improve it. Do you want new NPCs? Do you want more rumors? Do you want new spells? Do you want magical weapons? Do you want diseases? This book has everything, layer upon layer upon layer of it. Also, it is very easy to take out all of these great random tables and drop them right into whatever magical city you happen to be running. The whole thing can be disassembled and every part of it is gold. If you're running a fantasy urban campaign, this is my book of choice. Our fourth product is going to receive 3 awards, and those are Best Art, Best Setting, and Best Adventure. And that award goes out to The Ultraviolet Grasslands and the Black City by Luca Reyetz. The Ultraviolet Grasslands is described as a cross between psychedelic heavy metal and Oregon Trail, which is as apt a description as I could imagine. The book allows your players to go on a long journey, months and months long, across a near endless steppe full of strange psychedelic wonders. It also has rules for the logistics of doing so, keeping track of your food and your supplies, your hirelings, and so forth. You get to see crazy things. You get to see beautiful things, and the art fleshes all of this out. Every 2-page spread almost is a new wonder that your players can encounter and mess around with. It's a real masterpiece of a book, a labor of love, and something that sparks your imagination at every turn. Our fifth book is the winner of 2 awards, Best Rules and Best Layout. And this will probably come as a surprise to no one, but that winner is Old School Essentials, the Classic Fantasy Edition. There are no shortage of retro clones out there, and it seems a little weird to still be talking about them in 2021, but Old School Essentials really does set a new benchmark for what's possible in terms of the layout and the presentation of some of the most solid D&D rules ever written. It takes those streamlined BX rules, which are the most popular rules for old school gamers by and large, and it turns it into this incredibly easy to reference and well-designed system reference document, basically. It's easy to find what you need, everything looks beautiful, and it serves as a great foundation upon which people can build in order to create their own D&D rules. I run Old School Essentials all the time, and I've discovered that it is a great way to introduce people into these old school rules, especially if you want that retro flavor, and you don't want to go with something more new school like Knave or the Black Hack or some of the more modern, ultra streamlined versions of the older rules. Sixth and finally, our last award is for Best Writing, and that award goes to Lauren's Song of the Bachelor by Zedek Siu. I've been following Zedek's writing for quite a while now, ever since he began writing his Thousand Islands zine, which has some great work by Mun Kao as well, and which really describes a Southeast Asian fantasy setting. Lauren's Song of the Bachelor really takes this to another level though, in that it gives you an actual adventure that you can run with really any old school setting, featuring a lot of Zedek's trademark writing style, which is very terse but extremely evocative and memorable. Rather than going on and on trying to get a particular image across, Zedek will give you one sentence, and then that image is just frozen in your mind for the rest of the adventure. It's absolutely fantastic. I have rarely seen an author that is able to communicate that much visual imagery just with a few words, and Lauren's Song of the Bachelor is one of the best examples of that. It's an excellent merger of both gameability and beautiful prose, and I strongly recommend it to anyone who wants to see what is possible within the medium of adventure writing. That brings us to the end of the Questies. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations to all of the winners. I'm really looking forward to seeing what 2021 brings in terms of new adventures and new rules. I have a lot of crazy stuff over there in my backlog that I'm really eager to look through. If you want to join me in exploring it, remember to subscribe to the channel, and thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.